Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has sent an open letter to President Muhammadu Buhari, urging him to use his leadership position to urgently instruct Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information and Culture, and the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) to withdraw the directive containing a gag order banning journalists and broadcast stations from reporting details of terrorist attacks and victims across the country. The NBC had, in a letter dated 7th July 2021, issued a directive asking journalists, television and radio stations in Nigeria to stop glamorizing and giving too many details of the nefarious activities of terrorists and kidnappers during their daily newspaper reviews. Reacting, SERAP, in a letter dated 17th July 2017 and signed by its deputy director Kolawole Oluwadare, said the contents of the directive by the NBC to journalists and broadcast stations are entirely inconsistent and incompatible with Nigeria's obligations under Article 9 of the African Charter of Human and People's Rights and Article 19 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. So we would be grateful if the repressive directive is withdrawn within 24 hours of the receipt and or publication of this letter. If we have not heard from you by then, the SERAP shall take all appropriate legal actions in its public interest. The organization expressed grave concern that the content of the NBC directive would impermissibly restricts the rights to freedom of expression, information, and victims' rights to justice and effective remedies that are central to public debate and accountability in a democratic society. Reporting on the growing violence and killings in many parts of the country is a matter of public interest. The NBC directive to journalists and broadcast stations to stop reporting these cases, coupled with the possibility of fines and other punishments, would have a disproportionate chilling effect on the work of those seeking to hold the government accountable to the public. The broad definition of what may constitute too many details, glamorizing, divisive rhetoric, and security issues heighten concerns of overreach, confer far-reaching discretion on the government, and suggest that the NBC directive is more instructive than necessary. These words and phrases do not indicate precisely what kind of individual conduct would fall within their ambits. The vague and overboard definitions are too many details. Okay. The use of these words and phrases by the NBC, giving their opaque and ambiguous meaning, leaves open the possibility for application beyond unequivocal incitement to hatred, hostility, and violence. Such words and phrases may function to interpret legitimate reporting by broadcast stations, journalists, and other Nigerians as unlawful. Exacerbating these concerns are growing restrictions of civil space, the suspension of Twitter in Nigeria, and the attempt by your government to push for the amendment of the Nigeria Press Council Act and the National Broadcasting Commission Act to further suppress media freedom, freedom of expression, and access to information. Allowing the media to freely carry out their duties is essential to building a secure society and leaving no one behind. Conversely, imposing impermissible restrictions on broadcast stations, journalists, and other Nigerians undermine the security that builds a healthy and vibrant society. Article 19 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights establishes the right to freedom of opinion without interference. Article 19 of 2 establishes Nigeria's obligation to respect and ensure this right, which includes the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of all kinds, regardless of frontiers and through any media one's choice. These guys, they are not just backing down, and that's why it begins to give a lot of people concern that these people are not ready to leave the office by 2023. Well, the SERAP is just trying to play the devil's advocate, because if you are telling Buhari to tell Lai Mohammed and the NBC boss not to do all these things, so you think Lai Mohammed just woke up, or the NBC boss just woke up and began to give that directive, if the directive is not coming from Buhari? That's why I say you're just trying to be, you are playing to the gallery, because it is Buhari that sent them. They cannot just wake up and begin to do all of that. They are being given order. Their own is just to relate the message to the Nigerian people, not that they have it in mind. So it is Buhari that sent them. Buhari-led federal government is a scam. From the onset, Buhari has portrayed Nigeria image poorly before the Committee of State and trying to cover up his unprofessional attitude. The rule of law is not respected of the country. Do you think it will work before? If bandits kill, make people no talk, arrest the leader of bandits and leader of Boko Haram. They don't want the world to know about the genocide again. This is not democracy we voted for. This is demonstration of craziness. Pure military era. It's a big shame to Nigeria. What reporters are doing is totally barbaric. You are just creating tension in this country. In most time, you ignore positive and progressive news. You are always on the negative side. Fear God in all what you are doing. If you do good, you will see good. You can imagine. You must be an unreasonable person. So is President Muhammadu Buhari doing Nigeria any good, coupled with the bloodshed and wanton killing? So are we talking about, are we saying that those things are not happening? Are we saying they are not happening? You see this here, Northerners, there are something else. Boko Haram kidnappers, rapers, bandits, herdsmen, miscreants, repentant Boko Haram are now doing a lot of good. Abi, fake Buhari. Continue. Now the whole world and the idiots that voted for him can see it clearly. The way Northerners support Buhari, I have not seen before, even in times of denying them the right for them to tell the world that what is going on in the north, they still support him. It is terrible. Those that deceived their people because of their selfish interests, how far now? How market? Tinubu, Rochas, Ngigi, Amechi, how is the system you supported? May the blood of the innocent people being killed both north, east, south, and west haunt you and your generation.